And we begin this hour amid ever-increasing tensions between the United States and the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The U.S. is preparing for yet another round of joint military exercises with the Republic of Korea in the south. This time, the U.S. plans to send a nuclear-powered submarine armed with 154 Tomahawk missiles to the peninsula. That's according to a South Korean media outlet. Reports say the USS Michigan is slated to arrive at the port city of Busan in South Korea this weekend. By next week, the submarine will reportedly conduct joint military drills with the USS Ronald Reagan, a U.S. aircraft carrier, simulating all-out war against the North. DPRK considers these drills to be very provocative and has offered to halt its nuclear program if the U.S. put an end to these drills. Meanwhile, today, defense officials in South Korea say they believe special forces for the Korean People's Army conducted training exercises to practice infiltrating the South Korean-U.S. Combined Forces Command by paraglider in September. A South Korean lawmaker also accused the DPRK of deploying hackers to steal highly classified military documents, including details of a, quote, decapitation strike against the North. In other words, a plan by South Korea designed to remove North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. All this comes as the Workers' Party of Korea marked its 72nd anniversary in the North. With President Trump repeatedly threatening to destroy North Korea, Britain has dived into the mix and is currently drawing up battle plans to help the U.S. if a war with North Korea becomes reality. With the latest, I'm joined now by RT's Alex Mihailovich in Toronto. Alex, what exactly are we hearing from the UK when it comes to North Korea?
Well, it looks like the UK is taking things seriously. They know full well that if the U.S. jumps into a war with North Korea, they might be one of the first ones asked to come along for the ride. And just thinking about that, the fact is that these guys have started writing up plans on how they would help the United States in a war against North Korea. Now, we know the Brits, historically speaking, have always had a pretty incredible Navy, and they still do to this day. And what they are considering and doing is adding to their arsenal with the HMS Queen Elizabeth. Now, here we got some stats on this big boat. This is an aircraft carrier, and it's brand new. It's not supposed to be put into commission until 2020. It's worth about $3.9 billion. The ship has 3,000 separate compartments, 471 cabins, 1,600 bunks, and it can hold up to 36 F-35B stealth fighter jets. That's a lot of planes with a lot of firepower. But the question is, will the U.S. even need the Brits in a situation like this? We know that the U.S. have a formidable force in the Pacific Ocean already, and whatever the Brits can do, it'd probably take a bit of time for them to get their boats out there, first of all. And second of all, the U.S. Army, or the U.S. Navy, I should say, in this case, it's pretty powerful on its own. So many British people are questioning why Britain would even get into this game, knowing full well that this really is not their battle, other than the fact that their Secretary of Defense keeps telling them that North Korea's missiles can reach London more easily than they can reach Los Angeles, since London is actually closer, geographically speaking.
Well, is it as simple as that then, Alex? The fear-mongering or the traditional allyship with the United States? Why is Britain being so hawkish when it comes to North Korea?
Well, extremely hawkish, and it seems all to be coming out of Mr. Fallon's mouth, the man that I just mentioned. And I'm going to give you a quote by him, and this is quite interesting, sort of to get the idea of where this man's mind is. Today, the nuclear dangers are intensifying from a reckless North Korea and increasingly aggressive Russia. Nuclear weapons remain the only credible way to deter the most extreme dangers, reminding any aggressor that the benefits of an attack would be vastly outweighed by the consequences. And that's the British Defense Secretary Michael Fallon saying that. Now, Michael Fallon, look, the West has a lot of reasons to be afraid of what's going on. 6 nuclear tests in recent months, a couple of missiles shot over Japan by North Korea. But the fact of the matter is you have to kind of sit back and think about, why is this going down? Kim Jong-il is not a stupid man. or Kim Jong-un, I should say. He's not a stupid man. He's looking at the situation where he saw somebody like Gaddafi go down, somebody like Saddam Hussein go down, because they didn't have deterrence. So he's trying to protect his own regime with this type of weaponry, and he's asking to negotiate. He's telling President Trump, let's talk about you guys sending all these weapons and doing these drills over in South Korea. So that's one big thing. And one thing that Mr. Fallon does not address is that China is the factor here, not the Brits, not the U.S. China is the country that's dealing most closely with North Korea. China has put up some stringent sanctions against North Korea. China can get the job done. And for some reason now, the Brits are saber-rattling as well. We also know that Mr. Fallon, though, recently has asked for more money for defense, so that could all be playing a part of this in this as well. As it sits with the Ministry of Defense in Britain, they're saying they would like to see a peaceful resolution and a diplomatic resolution to all this. And what we're seeing is, a lot of, as I mentioned, saber-rattling and a lot of push for a war that really doesn't need to happen.
Well, even if the war doesn't happen, Alex, it seems all the saber-rattling will keep weapons makers here and in the UK very happy. Alex Mihailovich reporting in Toronto. Thank you so much.
Thank you.